Almost everything we source, raw materials and most of our packaging components are sourced here in the States.
We make products for surgical instrument reprocessing during the sterilization step, primarily human health, including extended care or senior care, primary care in your physician's office, hospitals, and then all the subcategories like surgery centers, hospice, every subdivision you can think of.
There's a lot of personal attachment, not just being a family business, but for making products that we ourselves use, including family members in the most difficult of life circumstances. So there's a certain passion behind it and a certain amount of pride that we're doing things that help make a difference for people.
My great-grandfather started this company. He came over from an island called Madeira, which is off the coast of Portugal, in 1920. Then he made his way to Kansas City, where he worked with his uncle.
After having a falling out with his boss, who was his uncle, he grabbed the secretary, married her. She became grandma eventually, and started his own company, but all he knew was cleaning chemicals.
And then we started really manufacturing shampoos, body washes. Other generations started coming into the company.
In the early 90s, we were starting to do some private label products for companies, and we were looking at coming out with our own branded line. In that timing, my mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And during one of my first visits, there was some lotion on her end table. Didn't smell bad, but it smelled institutional. We eventually realized nobody else is making aromatherapy products, but modified with the specific, unique needs of senior skin. So it was a way to honor her legacy with a product line.
Now we're kind of entrenching the fourth generation into the company, and it's been great to see. It's been awesome to get really close with my cousins now.
There's Chris Nobrega, fourth generation. The person with most tenure is David Nobrega. His brother, Jonathan Nobrega, Sam Nobrega. Sam has a brother, my nephew, Jacob. Henry Nobrega, vice president of sales. Bailey Nobrega, she's my daughter. It used to be a lot easier. There's Mike, Mark, Greg, Paul.
When I was in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, we all worked on the manufacturing lines. You did not come in and walk into an office. It's definitely earned both with time and work ethic, kind of a rules that you don't come through your father, your direct link, or your direct relative. You work with someone else to get onboarded. And my dad then passed away, and then it kind of fast-tracked me even more.
We're 100 years old. We moved into this building in 2004, went from 19,000 square feet to 167,000 square feet. We actually rented out pieces of the building because we thought we'll never fill it. Well, we're getting full. It's hard to believe, but we're there. So we're like a giant kitchen in some respects, only we don't assume that those materials, when we get them in, be it a raw material or a component part, is what they claim it is.
All the raw materials that are used to blend batches get tested here. All the blended batches in process. Batches as we fill them into containers get tested. We even test old containers for shelf life. We'll do investigational testing.
The ingredients that go into it all has a very unique tracking number, so that way we can, if we have an issue or concern, we can trace the product. And we hold on to the raw materials as well as the finished goods for 7 years. The FDA temporarily lifted their guidelines for hand sanitizer production because of the constrictions and the restrictions in the supply chain. So then you started seeing products come out that would kill germs, but they would also destroy your skin. Pleased to say we never compromised the kind of ethanol we use, we never compromised the emollients we use, and we also decided we're going to make an investment so that when the next pandemic comes, we're much better positioned. We have on-site storage of pharmaceutical-grade ethanol and all this dedicated equipment, including an additional water system.
Research and development, we try to improve the existing formulas that we have. We will reverse engineer competitive formulas.
Oftentimes, we'll have a customer come to us and say, we want this kind of a product. And they'll give us a product that's already out there. Here's what we like about this product. Here's what we would like to see different. Or sometimes here's what we like, and we'll look for ways to improve the product.
Brand new products that we don't make yet, R&D will work those up.
And our challenge now is diversification. We're looking at more retail, which is a very different animal. We have some very good customers in Asia, some in Europe, Canada, So we're seeing some international success, but again, our bread and butter is domestic, human health care, and especially senior care. That's where a big part of our product mix ends up and a big part of our passion. Kansas City, and we're on the Kansas side of the state line, has a strong immigrant population. And my grandfather's an immigrant, his brother was an immigrant. And so if we can provide an opportunity for them to make a good living for themselves and their family, provide for them, that's what my grandfather wanted. He didn't have visions of a huge company. He had visions of putting food on his family's table. And so if we can help facilitate that, it's all the better. We are an FDA facility. Actually, we have 3 different FDA registrations: cosmetic establishment, drug establishment, and medical device establishment. And so we have a lot of compliance and a lot of documentation that we have to ensure is accurate and thorough. Many of the people who work here, English is not their first language, and we've worked on how to help facilitate that with having an ESL class that we had in-house for quite some time. There's some cultural differences, but we also try to maximize experiences. Like we have our Friendsgiving down here. Well, believe me, with 25 different countries, and we encourage people, bring something native if you can, you don't have to. You get some interesting dishes, some things that I've never seen before, but my challenge is I'm gonna try it, and more oftentimes than not, I'm pretty impressed.
For a 4th generation company, I think it's around 0.2% that make it to the 4th generation, so I don't take a single day for granted.
With Martin Brothers, I think there's some real strong commonality there and some real strong connection. When I do go up and visit, there's no way I'm going to go in and just sit in an office. We're going to get together. We're going to talk. We're going to hang out outside the office if at all possible. I know customers. I know I know who their spouses are, or their kids. That's important to us. Assuming the math works, I believe human nature is human nature, and people would prefer to work with people that they actually like hanging out with.